San Francisco, one of the most well-known cities in California. It boasts over 800,000 residents and is known for tourist attractions like the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz, both of which have been featured quite a bit on this channel. Today's unsolved case takes place in San Francisco and involves a young mother and son who went missing there almost 20 years ago. But even today, the case of Evelyn and Alex Hernandez leaves more questions than answers. Evelyn Hernandez was born on February 23, 1978, in El Salvador. Most of her family still lives there, but at some point in her childhood, her mother moved to San Francisco and Evelyn joined her there at the age of 14. She attended the city's MacLeod High School, but in early 1996, a 17-year-old Evelyn found out she was pregnant. On November 6, 1996, she gave birth to her son, Alexis Geraldo Hernandez, who went by Alex. Alex's father was in the Navy when he was born and wasn't involved in his life, so Evelyn raised him as a single parent. According to Evelyn's family and friends, she was a fantastic mother, responsible and doting on Alex, as well as being highly involved in his education. She eventually got a job as a nurse and settled in San Francisco with her son. By late April of 2002, 24-year-old Evelyn found herself pregnant again. The father of this child was her then boyfriend, 36-year-old Herman Aguilera. Aguilera worked two jobs at the time, one at a limo company and another as a mechanic at the San Francisco International Airport. But when they first started dating, Aguilera kept some pretty important information from Evelyn. He was already married. Evelyn didn't learn about this until after she found out she was pregnant, though it's not clear exactly when. According to Evelyn's friends, Aguilera didn't want to keep the baby, but Evelyn wanted this child and was excited about becoming a parent again. She planned on naming her new baby boy Fernando. While she was reportedly considering taking legal action to ensure she got child support, Aguilera did at least take some actions to help out the Hernandezes. On April 30th, 2002, he bought a bed for 5-year-old Alex and later accompanied Evelyn to a routine doctor's appointment. The next day, May 1st, Evelyn was seen taking Alex to school and later at an ATM. Around 9 o'clock that night, she talked on the phone to one of her sisters about her upcoming baby shower. That was the last time anyone heard from her, and Alex didn't show up to school the next day. By May 7th, which was Evelyn's due date, there was still no sign of her or Alex. Herman Aguilera reported them missing that day. At first, police didn't suspect foul play. They thought Evelyn had simply taken off to be by herself as she gave birth. Her mom, who she'd come to the United States to be closer to, had already moved back to El Salvador by this point, so investigators wondered if she'd simply gone back to her native country to be closer to her family. But as they would soon realize, there were several problems with this theory. For starters, Evelyn would have had to have taken a plane back to El Salvador, something a woman just days away from giving birth wasn't likely to do. She and Alex had also left pretty much all of their things behind, including not only their passports, but an overnight bag Evelyn had already packed in preparation for giving birth. Not long after the two went missing, Evelyn's wallet was found in a parking lot in another part of the city. The parking lot was just a few blocks away from a gas station that was regularly used by the limo company that Herman Aguilera worked at. The wallet had some cash in it, as well as 2 checks made out to Evelyn. A nearby canal was searched after the wallet was discovered, but nothing else of interest was found. About a month after their disappearances, the case was taken over by the homicide unit. Investigators were able to track down Alex's father, who lived in Puerto Rico at the time. He was questioned, but not considered a suspect. Herman Aguilera was also interviewed by police, and he was initially cooperative, but later stopped talking to them. He claimed he was at home with his wife the night Evelyn went missing, and his wife said the same thing. She also claimed she knew about his affair with Evelyn, but didn't realize she was pregnant until police told her. Aguilera has never officially been named a suspect, but he's never been officially ruled out either. On July 24th, 2002, a citizen walking near the Bay Bridge made a gruesome discovery: a human torso and a pair of legs. The torso was clad in a maternity blouse. In September of that year, it was confirmed via DNA that these partial remains were those of Evelyn Hernandez. Neither Alex Hernandez or baby Fernando have ever been found. By the time Evelyn's body was identified, investigators already assumed Alex was dead. I haven't seen anything definitive about what they think happened to baby Fernando, but from everything I've read in my research, it seems like they believe he's dead as well. So what on earth happened here? Who killed Evelyn, and where are her sons? There are only two major theories here, so let's get into them. The first theory is that Herman Aguilera was involved. This is, as you might expect, the most prominent and believed theory among online speculators. Some of them have also suggested Aguilera's wife might have also been involved. Even if she didn't know Evelyn was pregnant, she might have wanted to get rid of the so-called other woman. Alex, unfortunately, may have witnessed his mom's murder and also been killed as a result. But what about baby Fernando? It's pretty likely that whoever killed Evelyn also killed her unborn child in the process. But at least one online sleuth wondered if Aguilera, if he was the killer, had somehow managed to spare Fernando, wanting to keep his own child. But if that is the case, where is baby Fernando now? There's also been speculation of coffin birth, which occurs when a pregnant woman dies and her body expels the unborn baby out of her body. If this did happen and Evelyn's body was already in the water by that point, this might explain why baby Fernando has never been found. The next theory is that this case is connected to another more well-known case that took place around the same time, a case you've almost certainly heard of. Laci Peterson was 27 years old and 8 months pregnant when she was last seen in her hometown of Modesto, California on Christmas Eve of 2002. In early April of 2003, the bodies of Laci and her unborn son Connor were found near the Berkeley Marina in the San Francisco Bay. In 2004, Laci's husband, Scott Peterson, was convicted of murdering his wife and unborn son. He was initially sentenced to death, but that sentence was later overturned. He's set to be re-sentenced to life in prison in December 2021, and it's possible he will later be granted a retrial. There are quite a few similarities between these two cases. Both involved pregnant women who went missing just a few months apart in cities about 90 miles away from each other. Laci's autopsy report showed her head and part of her limbs were missing, and Evelyn's arms and head were missing as well, though it's not clear if this was done by her killer or due to decomposition from her body being in the water. In June of 2003, just a couple of months after Scott Peterson was arrested, his defense team requested access to records about Evelyn and Alex's case. They noticed the similarities in the two cases as well and thought these files might have information that would exonerate Peterson. This request was denied by the San Francisco City Attorney, Dennis Herrera, who said if the information in the files went public, it might result in the perpetrator of the crime avoiding detection. There are some people who believe Scott Peterson is innocent in the murder of his wife and unborn son, and that whoever really killed Laci also killed Evelyn. There's also speculation that Peterson did kill his wife as well as Evelyn and possibly some other women. This theory is a little bit sensational and mostly seems to have been perpetuated by tabloids. Most online speculators are pretty skeptical of it, and as early as 2007, investigators said they didn't think the two cases were connected. But I still wanted to bring it up because it comes up all the time when people discuss Evelyn's case. Alex Hernandez was 5 years old when he was last seen in San Francisco, California on May 1st, 2002. He's a Hispanic male who was 4 feet tall and 45 pounds at the time of his disappearance, with brown hair and eyes. He would be 24 years old if alive today. If you have any information about the case of Evelyn and Alex Hernandez, you can contact the San Francisco Police Department's Cold Case Unit at 415-553-1450. There is a $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person responsible. So like I said in the title, this case is a little bit weird, just in the sense that I wasn't sure how to classify it. We started out with 2 missing people, technically 3 if you count baby Fernando, and only one of them has been found. So it's part missing persons case, part unsolved murder. Either way, it's obviously incredibly sad, and I really hope it gets solved someday. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.